Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 103. So, without further ado, I am with co-host good old Maurice from down south. How you doing, broski?
What's up? What's going on?
What's going on? And I am with the wonderful, the talented, and beautiful Avinash as well. How you doing, Abby?
Wow. I'm doing great, thank you, especially after that comment.
And we got this other guy here, too. This other guy. He's pretty good.
I don't really know anything.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good at some things. I don't know what those things are, but he's good at those things he is good at. No,
I just like to hang out and drink bourbon and talk sometimes.
The host of the Reality Skewed Gamers live stream, RangerJ1999. Hello,
everybody. Hey! And then they ate the minstrels. Yay!
So
glad to be here.
So happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody had a good weekend. I am ready to rock and roll. So just want to talk about what we have on screen here, which is the Negotiator. So the Negotiator is the chase right now. That's really, I guess, the goal or the end game for rewards as far as the Geonosian territory battles is concerned. So the topic I want to kind of broach here, the subject I want to talk about is, I think a lot of people right now are really just focusing on farming that and then, getting together the squad for that. I mean, do you think that is the best value in the store right now? I mean, there are some other pieces in there for like Gear 13, so there are other things you could purchase, with that currency. Do you think that, basically it's worth it to go all in on, because again, this is a ship that's going to be tailored primarily towards Galactic Republic characters. So is it worth it to go all in on the Negotiator, level that up, and then have to, definitely also work on your Rex ship, your Fives ship, and all the Galactic Republic related synergy ships to build up a whole new faction to be, the meta in the fleet arena? Will it even be meta in the fleet arena? Will it take away, what's going on right now with the Millennium Falcon and Akbar? What do you guys think?
I think it will definitely be meta. Anybody that has it will definitely have an advantage in Territory Wars and Grand Arena. I mean, for no other reason that you can field, a meta team, both offense and defense. You don't have to, don't want to put my Millennium Falcon down on defense right now. It's like, well, if I do I have anything left over that can beat the Millennium Falcon? That's the question. I think it's going to be meta, yes. I think the only people that are going to be able to access it are your people that are competing in getting a fair amount of stars in the Geonosian territory battle. So these people are likely going to have, they're going to be ahead of the game. They're going to be end-ish game players. And there's really everything you can buy in that store, you can buy out of the Grand Arena store. And the new stuff is indeed farmable. The new Gear 12 finisher salvage is farmable. And then you got the Grand Arena store to get maybe some of those other components from the Gear 12 stuff. It's expensive. I think we got maybe 25-ish. I don't remember exactly. We got 25 stars, and that was enough currency to get me maybe 20 Negotiator shards. I think I had 20, maybe 25. So I mean, it is going to be a long, long slog. But you can't go wrong. I mean. I guess a lot depends if you have Padme. If you have Padme,
I think it depends on where you're at with your account.
Yeah,
I think that's the important thing to remember here is that people have been asking me that. I'm like, no, Gear 13 is more important for your squad arena. Gear 13. Like for me, I'm getting my Gear 13 on my squad arena first. That way, I know I've got that locked in, and my crystal income is solid there. I just picked up the Millennium Falcon, so now I'm starting to climb higher again, like I used to in Fleet. If you can get that done, then you can start. Because then after that, I'm focusing on getting the new ship, right? Because I can farm the gear from other places, like with the new Grand Arena Championship coming. I'll use that for the newer gear, that I'm supplement with the farms that I'm doing. So I'll have that for my new gear, and then I'll just put, like I did with Yoda and Wampa, and then God help us, that damn Malik farm. And I also think it's where you're at with your GP. I think it is where you are at with your farm. It's just one more thing you're going to need. It's going to be needed for light side TB. Don't kid yourself. They're going to do that. But you can't just get it and then, if you're farming it right now, you're not doing Gear 13, especially for Arena and other things, then I think you're doing a disservice to your account, because it's just going to put you behind the 8 ball on Gear 13s. And Gear 13s, I'm here to tell you folks, it's a game changer on a lot of these characters. So I think it just depends on where you're at.
Yeah, I'm hoarding mine just because I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm really not sure, so I'm just kind of hoarding mine a little bit right now to see where I'm at, how my Gear 13 is going, which I might end up getting some of the pieces from there anyway with that. But, oh man, I'm just not sure what I want to do, if I want to go for the ship or the actual Gear 13 on some of it.
I mean, how many Gear 13s do you guys have right now?
2, almost 3.
1. Actually, honestly, I have several characters that have Gear 13. I just don't have the rest of the 12.5 on it, but I have the Gear 13 on them. They just haven't turned color. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have none. So, I mean, it's definitely, now it's like I feel like I'm going to have to stop farming something else, and it's like, thankfully I got done the stuff for the Millennium Falcon, so I got that. And, for the most part, out of the hard nodes, I'm really just finishing up the Emperor's Shuttle and a couple other farms. So, where are you farming the Gear 13 pieces from?
Well, for me, I use my the new Get Mark II to round out with the energy that I was using, just to speed it up. And I also am using the championship store for the cryotex, things of that nature. But after that, it's going to be really for the championship store. It's going to be those hard to get pieces that you can only get from the Sith raid. I have plenty right now, but I want to start stockpiling those, because those are going to be the keys, because you can't get them really anywhere else other than the Sith raid is the championship store. So those MK12 armor tech keypads and things of that nature, you're going to want to hoard those. So initially it'll be just to get those that Arena team going, and then it'll be to get those pieces more than anything, because you can farm the cryotex, you can save up your crystals. The other piece you can farm with energy. It sucks, but it can be done. So I think those are the most important pieces to get out of the championship store. But again, it's where you are with your account.
Is this because did you guys buy the Gear 13 pieces, or did you farm everything?
I farmed.
Oh, I farmed.
I don't see how you're farming it so fast. I mean, it's like, you need 2 of those for every Gear 13 finisher, right? You need 2 of those, so you need 200 pieces for those new cryotech pieces, right? To do
right.
One Gear 13.
Well, it's a combination, right? I take, I'm top 20 fleet, and I'm top 1 or 2 every day in Arena. So I use my crystals to save up every couple days and get the cryotex. The other ones I just farm with my energy.
Right, the
and I supplemented
them.
Yeah.
The cryotex I buy, those are easy to buy. You can't buy the other stuff.
Yeah.
So you just gotta farm the crap out of it. And so I do, I even do 100 refreshes, the 100 refreshes up there. I won't go any higher than that, though.
Well, if you're a light spender or even free to play, there is no need to try to just get as many as you can up to Gear 13, because you're going to run out of the Sith raid stuff. Even for the heavy, even for people that buy everything, there's only 25. There's only like 1 component per week in the weekly shipments that you can purchase, right? So you can't just buy all this stuff. There is a limit to how much you can buy. So there is. You do have to find. If somebody has 9, 10 Gear 13s at this point, I'm going out on a limb and saying they're completely out of all the stuff for the right side. All the Gear 12 plus stuff. That's why I have components. Like I think you mentioned, earlier. Like I have the components to put the pieces on a couple characters. I just don't have, like the furnace that I need in the middle, or I don't have, the HoloLens, or
exactly. Yeah.
I have a Saj's piece, but I'm missing both of her right side pieces. That's driving me crazy. There's just I can play every Sith raid. I can get first place in every Sith raid. But if it doesn't want to give it to me, it doesn't want to give it to me. Like there's no other way to buy it.
That's my issue. I've got that Gear 13 piece. It's attached. It's on. It's ready to go. I just need those 1 or 2 right side pieces that I cannot get dropped. And I'm not going to buy them. I can't afford to buy them.
I think the fact that every Gear 13 finisher needs 200 of those cryotech pieces is absolutely ridiculous. That's a lot. Like, I mean, and those things don't drop. Like, I mean, it takes a long time to farm 50 of those.
Yeah, the drop rate's really bad.
To farm 50 of those takes me like a week or 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to get 200, and then that's and then have to get the other pieces too. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So I mean, that's why. I mean, I'm farming the Negotiator too. I believe the Negotiator is the way to go. I think that there's more value in having this ship ultimately than I think some of the Gear 13 stuff, because honestly, I mean, and I'm just basing this on what I've seen so far. I'm beating people in arena at Gear 13, no problem.
I'm getting my fanny handed to me by Gear 13s. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, I didn't hardly even get a turn.
It still comes down to bots. I mean, so it's like, Gear 13 or not, it gives you a better starting point and definitely more health and damage, but it's like, there's certain components of the game where, like, if you get a head start because you have better mods, it doesn't matter whether they're Gear 13 or not, you're going to win. So it's like, I don't know. And again, I'm not facing any like full 5 squads. I'm not facing full. I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3 characters that are Gear 13. That's really what I'm seeing out there. And honestly, I'm kind of feeling like the first Gear 13 now that I want to do is going to be Grievous.
That's what I'm working on right now. Is I'm working on Alpha. I'm working on my droid team in my other guild. I'm probably doing. I'm actually doing my Separatists, as in Geos.
I think we all here are working on their damn Separatists. I took a bunch to Gear 11 this week, and I'm getting Grievous to 12 because he's going to be the 4th one at Gear 13. So it'll be, I've done Basilisk, Balak, Darth Revan, then I'm going to go Grievous as the first one outside of that group to get done. And then, but good Lord, some of these Separatists is like, you look at Pog and you're like, hey, that was pretty easy. Gear 11, no problem, yay! And you're like,
worthless.
And then you're like, Magna Guard, oh no, 360 million Carbantes, boo!
That's to get to Gear 12. But then you need a Gear 13 for the battle.
So I've pretty much got a majority of them Gear 11 plus now. It's just now I've got to do I just took Jordica and B1. I finally leveled them up and started putting gear on them, and then I'll do Magna Guard last. But I'm farming the hell out of that Geonosis brood, so a lot of my crystals go to that every day. It's like, you little bastard, you're not 4-star yet? Get out of here.
You have what's it called? You have 7-star B1.
No, B1 and Jordica are still 5-star. So I'm trying to get Geonosis brood started first. I'm just farming them regularly with energy and stuff. So it's a slow process. The drop rates on Jordica and B1 are just god awful. I mean, B1 being in ships is just it's a nightmare. I'm just trying to get Brood Alpha unlocked. I'm going to push 300 crystals into him every day until I get him to 6 stars. And then I'm going to use the crystals that I get from income to go back and try to round B1 and Jordica up. But it's crazy how even just farming them regularly the drop rates are brutally bad, man. I mean, it's pretty crappy.
B1 is such a hard farm. I mean, like,
it is.
It's such a long farm.
So is Jordica.
I was farming Anakin Starfighter, like trying to get that done, and I got to I think I'm like almost 6-star, but now I'm farming this B1 and it's so slow. But I mean, once I get that done, I'll be good. I mean, I did manage to get a bunch of Gear 12s this week from my Geonosis. So I got Sunfact to Gear 12. I got Poggle to Gear 12. I got Geonosis Soldier to Gear 12. And I'm almost done with a new Gunray to Gear 12. So yeah, I mean, they'll be okay. But now that the way the battles are, I think do they all have to be Gear 13 to win those battles?
Pretty much.
Yeah, phase 3 and 4 especially.
Yeah,
the Brood Alpha is slow as hell too. I mean,
Yeah, my Brood was 12.5. All my Geos were 12.5 going into phase 3 and 4, and no, I didn't survive. Not only do you need the G13, but you honestly need a level increase as well.
So you guys finished up with 25 stars, Maurice?
I think so. I think it was 25. That's sad. I can't remember.
And how about you guys, Ranger? Where did you guys finish up with the Geonosis TV?
Like 26, 27, something like around there. I can't remember off the top of my head if we got 27. I want to say we did, but I could be wrong on that. Now, the top of my head, I want to say 26. Maybe we hit 27. I don't remember. The rewards are the same pretty much. So until you get to that 31, 32, 33 range, once you get to that level, you get the 750 crystals or whatever it is, and then the other rewards. So it was better than I thought we would do. I originally thought that we were going to get there. If we hit 24, I was going to be ecstatic. The fact that we superseded that, given the difficulty that I knew this was and proved to be, I'm ecstatic. Now that we're all working on our Separatist and all in on that and my guild, then I'm sure we'll do better and get better rewards.
Well, I think we learned a lot. Like that P4 mission, if you don't have the best Separatists, send in the bare minimum with that Count Dooku mission, right? Don't even save your best Separatists for another combat mission.
Yeah, I just blocked it off. And it was
send in Poggle and Geonosis. I mean, there's no point. There's really no point to do it. You almost have to have Gear 13 characters and possibly Watt Tambor. I guess you gotta use Watt for the special, but maybe Brood Alpha. Then we're gonna have to do that mission eventually, the very end special mission, which I don't imagine anybody could do. I think we got one Watt Tambor shard, so I mean, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, we got two. Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we did what? We did 28 stars.
We did 28. We came really super close to 29. It just came down to a matter of RNG with the battles. And even our top people had some bad RNG in that. And plus, honestly, it's the platoons, too. The platoons really
platoons just kill, I mean.
And we just kind of went... What we were trying to do is, the way that we did platoons kind of sucked in a sense. But at the same time, this was a brand new TB. There was no way we could plan for this. We had no idea what we were getting into. And I hate it when people are griping going, well, we should have done this. And it's like, dude, you realize we went on nothing. We had to plan it. They had to plan it, assuming.
They could also get off their ass and do something instead of complaining.
Yeah, that's what I kind of told them too. Yeah.
I mean, if they really have a better way to do it, then draw it up, show us what it is, and then and then this way, you did it. So I don't know.
Just tell them if TI and midichlorians won and those top guilds got 30 and were satisfied, then you getting 28 you should be proud of, because You know, I know all those. You know, obviously, I was talking to a lot of guys in MW1. They're like, even with the shit we got, they were just like, this is insanity how hard that phase 4 is.
Well,
you
and
know?
they have tons more GP than
Oh yeah, and they were like,
does. So
they were getting one-shotted and stuff. So if they're getting one-shot, if they're going in there like, wow, then you know that, you know, if you're below that mark, then you're like, okay, you just have some more work to do. So it's
and they've got deeper rosters and you know, some better tunes and better mods and stuff. So and being like 30 or 40 thousand G or whatever GP ahead of us, that's, you know, that plays into it as well. So of course we're not going to get like 30 stars. That's just kind of unattainable at the moment until we do, you know, manage to get better tunes and increase our GP. And the same with my other guild. We got 25. We came 670k short of 26. I was like frantically trying to see if anybody had anything to deploy, and it was like we were dry. And also too, you know, there were some missed deployment instructions. People don't always follow orders, and that kind of a thing, and that always kind of downplays your stars as well. You know, if you may have gotten 1 or 2, but you know, it's basically this was a test. This was to see how it goes, how well we do, and then we can just kind of plan from there, and we should all be able to get probably 1, if not 2 more stars.
I think it was a really good. I think it was a really good show, and I mean, honestly, I'm totally cool with 28 stars and the rewards that you get for that. I mean, I feel like once you reach like 32, 33 stars, there should be a huge spike in rewards for you. Like once you hit the max level, there should be a huge, like you should be speeding to get there. Like, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like, once you get to 33 stars, you're getting, like, a huge difference in rewards, like, double. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that would really, like, because, I mean, again, like, once that team gets there, like, which is obviously already the best team in the game, I mean, again, that kind of skews things, but I don't know. It would be... I'd be a lot more in a rush right now to get to 30 stars and 33 stars if I felt like there was a huge boost in rewards later on at the higher levels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just feel like I
wasn't like super pumped, but I wasn't disappointed with the loot boxes either. Like those.
No, other than the MP4s, the rest of it was really good.
But you know, I remember you remember your reaction the first Hoth box you get. You're like, yes, and you open it up and it has like 3 salvage. You're like, what in the fresh Hades is this? This is terrible. At least I feel like we got half, like 25 pieces of one of the finishers. We got some of the raid salvage, you know, the Sith raid stuff. You know, usable stuff that you really can't buy anywhere. I mean, you can farm the finishers, but I mean I want to say I got half of a furnace, so that was helpful, you know. But I wouldn't say pleased, but I was content, I guess, with the loot. Much better job than the Hoth stuff. That was miserable. So.
The rewards were better, but yeah, I mean, it could be. You know, again, it's just it could be great. You know, it should be great. This is like a big deal. You know,
this is like end game type content. You know, something to strive for, in that sense too. And also, one thing that, you know, people want to strive for more stars and stuff, but I don't want to see people breaking up guilds because of it. You know, it's like, stay where you are, you know, grow with your guild, work with your guild. You'll get there. Some people, you know, it's like a bunch of people might leave or whatever just to be able to obtain 1 more star. To me, I'm sorry, that's just kind of ridiculous in that sense.
Let me throw this out there just real quick. Ranger, if you're about to say something, go ahead, and I'll ask it afterwards. I'm changing the topic here.
No, go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to say is, what is the? I mean, still on the topic of GOTB, but what is the threshold, do you think, for a guild to say it's worth it to do the GOTB instead of the regular Hoth? territory battles? I mean, like, is it like 9 stars? Is it 15 stars? Is it always worth it to do the GOTB? I mean, like,
no. So this is how you have to look at it. I think not dark side, but light side. If you can get like 12, anything double-digit stars, you're better off doing that than Hoth, light side. However, if you're not getting 48 stars and you're still only getting like 12 in GOTB or less, then you probably want to stick to Hoth, especially if you haven't even 48 starred that sucker, because a lot of people, it means you're in that level range guild where you're probably still getting Maliks when it comes back around. If it ever comes back again, at this point, every time I'm asking, like, soon TM. I don't know, quit asking, so I've given up like when that sucker's coming back. Right. So I think you have to assess where you are with the guild. If you're going to do it, I would say skip Hoth light side, like way less rewards, and get some of the finishers for your up and coming guild. And then dark side, you probably need to do dark side. Get those Malik shards, things of that nature. So you're kind of fluctuating your income between both and getting some rewards from both. That'll be beneficial. But I think each guild there's no like magical marker, right? It's like, if you have 150 million GP, you should only do this. It is really guild to guild, and you have to assess. If you're getting, like, say, 6 stars in the GOTB, you probably don't need to be doing the damn GOTB. You probably have to do work a little bit more to get some of your characters up and get some of those finishers and characters that you're going to need. I mean, you have to have a really in-depth, good roster, because you're giving up Malik, you're giving up Revan, you're giving up a lot of the top pieces that you need for your team. So if you don't have that depth in your roster to contribute, then you're going to struggle as a guild, especially with that many people having to get up the Revans and the Maliks, because it makes it harder. I gave up my Revan and Malik pretty much this entire GOTB, and I was able to win some of the battles, but that's because I had depth. I had the Night Sisters, I had Treya, right? I had all these teams that were, gear 12 that I can go in there and at least through phase 3 contribute. But most guilds and most people, they don't have that, and I think that's something as each guild looks at, they have to decide, based off the loot that comes from those, where you're at. And there's no magical answer, guys. But if you're going to make a trade-off, I'd say light side, not dark.
Well, make sure you just go through. I mean, if you guys are on the fence, an easy way to determine if you're ready or not is if you have 50 7-star Rolos and 50 7-star IPDs. Like, once you go Geo, you're never going to come back. So, like, if you guys are going to do GeoTB for 3 months and be like, oh, only half the guild has IPD at 7-star. We need to go back and do two months of Hoth. That's not going to go over too well. So just finish those characters at least. If you skip the dark side one and advance too quickly, you're really, really shooting yourself in the foot for territory wars and Grand Arena. Simply because if you skip the dark side one, you won't have Imperial Troopers, and that is a very key offensive team for the PvP modes, right? Because I mean, if the dark side territory battle didn't require Snow Trooper, Veers, Starks, I personally probably wouldn't have them. But now that I've farmed them up because they basically forced me to, I'm like, wow, these characters are great. I'm so glad I have these characters every single TW, every single Grand Arena. You can't really say that about the Hoth brothers, but I mean, that's. Let's
not talk about the Hoth brothers or the Viagra. Let's not bring any of that up, all right?
Plus, if you don't do if you don't do the TB, you're not getting the crystals, right? Like, I mean, if you get, like, let's say you get the, 48 stars on Dark Side TB, or is it?
It's a lot of crystals.
Yeah, it's a lot of crystals. I mean, that's almost 1,000 crystals.
Well, plus you get you get one of those quests done too to be able to get that. Your 48 star. And stuff that people need to obtain. And people are on the fence about that. Do I do Geo, or do we try to go for that 48 star? And I was trying to tell them, go for that 48 star this time, and then try the Geo during the light side.
It just makes sense. Because the amount of get and rewards you can get out of dark side is way more than light side. If you're going to give up one of your territory battles, and you're like 150 million GP, for example, you can clear light side, but you're still struggling with dark side Hoth. Well, do dark side Hoth. Then when light side comes around and you're trying to figure out, I'm just watching good old Maurice comb his hair with a fork. That is absolutely the most amazing thing I have ever seen.
I've been doing it for like 10 minutes, just I didn't even realize, okay, yeah, fork now.
That's incredible.
You saw it here first, folks.
That's the white man's afro pick right here.
It's a clean. It's not dirty, I promise.
Yeah, if you're going to make a call, then do GOTB for light side and then continue your dark side. But if you're not even getting stars in light side TB, Hoth, you probably need to make an assessment. Like, if you can only get 4 to 6 stars in GOTB, it's not worth it. You need to be doing the Hoth continually till you hit a certain GP threshold and character threshold, especially for Malik and stuff, until you get that done. Because we've all played it. GOTB is not a joke. It is not something you go in there nonchalantly and like, oh, well, I can go do this. No, you don't get to do that. I mean, the first day you go in there with Boggle and get your ass handed to you, and you're like, well,
man, we should have done off.
Yeah, I mean, and really, Phase 4 is going to take Guild a long time to get that sucker taken care of.
I mean, if you guys can't even get into Fate, like the 3rd tier of boards, because that's how it works, right? Like, if you can't get a star, the points stay and you get to try again with refreshed rosters the next day. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you guys can't even get to the 3rd tier of battles, I don't think it's worth it.
Phase 4, and forgive me if this is, I mean, but I feel like is tuned for level 90. I feel like we're never going to be like at level 85. I don't think we'll ever be good enough to auto level 4. I'm just trying to say like when you're getting like, imagine the end of Territory Battles Dark Side. Now that's the hardest territory battles we had up until this point, right? Let's say you're in the last phase of Dark Side Territory Battles. I mean, it took me till till we had the Gear 12, pieces plus Gear 12 plus to get to the point where, I can auto these guys, no problem on the last phases, And it's like, I'm just trying to think to myself, like, how good would my characters have to be where I could just go in and auto the Phase 4 of the GOTB? And it is, I would imagine you'd have to be level 90. Right? I mean, like, I don't think even at Gear 13, with all these characters, you're going to be able to, it's going to still be hard. If you
I predicted that we're going to have a level increase because the G13 and mods are not going to cut it in Phase 4. There's no way.
No, even with the 6D mods, it's not enough of a bump. I mean, Gear 13 is a huge bump.
Even with Ramon's 4.16 speed mods,
those aren't going to work. Yeah, those days are done.
It's like such a. I mean, they like wallop you. It's like a slap in the face. Like it's not even.
I did manage to get a couple of battles that were 3 out of 4. But and I did get one that was like 0 of 4 because it looked like I didn't even have a chance. And most of it I did 2 of 4, I think, in Phase 4. I mean, I just took my time and stuff, but it drove me nuts because I was working it with 5 accounts, and I was so brain dead by the end of it because I had to just meticulously go through and take all that time just for one battle to just try to see, okay, this is the skill. I need to use this at this time. And then I would just take a minute to think about what I need to do, try to get as far as I possibly could so that we could get as many points as we possibly could. And I did not do well in ship battles at all, in any of the ship battles, because I had to platoon my Houndstooth and like Emperor Shuttle and stuff like that all the time. So I really had to try to come up with something that worked. And in the end, actually, Phase 4 was the only ship battle that I could actually win.
Yeah, but I mean, when you go in there with like your arena team and you just get wiped out, it's a real demoralizing feeling. But yeah, it's definitely hard. I'm assuming that, again, we've been talking about this for a long time, but a level cap is coming. A level cap is definitely coming.
Yep.
I don't know. They hinted at doing some stuff with mods. I think it's going to be more of a case of 6D, 6C, 6B, 6A mods, maybe. The level cap. I don't know.
The level cap doesn't really give them money. It doesn't give them much money. It's the mods and stuff like that people are going to frantically go for, and they'll pay whatever through the nose to be able to get it.
Yeah.
So
with all the slicing materials.
What they're going to look at. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to come up with a different slicing material to be able to use.
It's not like a level cap would be instantaneous anyway. I mean, even if they released a level cap today, I mean, it would take like a whole year for us to get to like level 90.
Yeah, I got like 2 million credits in the bank. It's like ready to go. Get one character 86 and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, it would also take, like I'm saying, I remember getting to level 85 took like 6 months.
Yeah.
It was a long time. So double that, would be level 90. So, we'll see. But, all right. Let's move on to the meta and the top 5, and we'll circle back around some of the questions. Looks like we got some really good questions. Again, if you guys have any topics or questions you'd like to discuss, do type them into the chat, and we'll scoop those up towards the end of the stream to discuss those questions and topics in our Q&A segment later on. So, sorry. Moving along to the meta report. Again, we're just going to glide right through this because there's really nothing to talk about here other than, really, are you kind of surprised that you're not seeing more Grievouses at rank 1 with the Gear 13 bonuses, or are there just not many of them right now?
I just don't think there's that many.
I don't think they beat Gear 13.
Well,
People are
Grievous
frantically trying to G13 their Darth Revan teams. That's what a lot of people are trying to do.
Yeah,
I mean, Grievous is a supporting member of these teams to beat Revan. He's not the lead. Like, he's the supporting cast. Like, whether he's Dooku lead or 88 lead, he's a member of the team. He's not the leader. I'm surprised I don't see any Dookus on here, to be honest. Not even that last place spot.
Yeah, I think it's just going to take Gear 13, and people don't want to Gear 13 him or the other Separatists right now, especially.
I couldn't wait to Gear 13 Grievous. Boy, that was the first one I did.
Oh, I know. That was the first one I did. I'm like, woohoo, yeah, baby.
It's really good against Darth Revan. Problem is, Gear 13 Malak is a game changer because Gear 13 Malak, mine's almost 190,000 health. Well, plus, he gets all the other additional stuff from that Gear 13. He can take that damage, and he can pretty much solo the damn Separatist. Malak is that much of a beast, because he's like, oh, you hit me? I suck out your life. I got it all back. Oh, you hit me again? I suck out all your life, and I have 190,000 health again. Oh, you want to do it again? Hey, I'm back to 190,000 health. Kiss my ass. So yeah.
So actually, what you're looking at here, Dr. Gonzo pointed it out, and it's correct, because I was about to say so. The HK-47 leads in the arena right now are the General Grievous team. So there's actually the fourth best arena leader right now is HK-47 behind Padme Amidala, Jedi Knight Revan, and Darth Revan. So HK-47 is seeing more use, which means Grievous is seeing more use in the arena right now for sure.
Yeah.
Not many. There's only 43, but.
Maybe I need to quit screwing around with Dooku and the Scoundrels and try HK. That'd probably just make it easier, huh?
Yeah, it's really great on offense. It's a great counter for Darth Revan. It's absolutely garbage on defense because you can easily get through that team. Yep. So it's like Padme. Padme is a great counter to Darth Revan. However,
I don't know. I don't know about Gear 13. Well, I'm not having too much luck with my Padme team right now.
Well, because Padme, if you can get through the initial stuff and the AI does stupid things with it, once you get that courage on Padme, Jesus, God, they hit so ridiculously hard. Anakin and Ahsoka can just one-shot folks. I've seen them just do it so many times. So, but you're right. Gear 13 Malak, again, is a game changer, but it can still be done because Padme and them just start stacking that curse, man. It's like, oh my God. It's so ridiculously hard. It comes just over and over again. So, but yeah. You're going to see those teams being used. It makes sense. They're good counters. So it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, you see the piece of the pie. Darth Revan's still the dominant force, and
absolutely more so than Jedi Knight Revan ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, we'll see. I hopefully something changes. I was kind of hoping that this Grievous thing would change the arena a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's having too big of an impact yet. So, again,
Right.
it is very early. I mean, there's probably not a lot of people out there that have Gear 13 General Grievous, and there's probably not a lot of people out there that have a Gear 13 HK-47. You know what I mean? So, I'd imagine that if there's going to be any impact on the meta for Darth Revan as far as the Gear 13 change is concerned, I don't think we're going to really see any of that for at least another 60 days, before we start to really see a lot of people starting to get together squads of Gear 13 characters. But again, by that time, I'm sure they'll have, selected a new meta champion, and, we'll all be, oogling over, this lightsaber Luke Skywalker to the Jedi, from Return of the Jedi at some point, or, whatever the next meta is, I'm sure it's going to be somebody interesting. But, yeah, that's our top 10 leaders at rank 1. Let's move on to our top 10 squad members. And really, not much to discuss here. Jolie Bindo's still on the list. Yeah, really the same stuff. Pretty much all Sith and Jedi after that, with the exception of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Let's move on to our top 5, and this week we're doing top 5 characters to Gear 13. So, for those of you working on Gear 13s, who is the number 5 character to Gear 13? Good old Maurice.
Number 5 is none other than Chewbacca. Chewbacca comes in at number 5. He is a pilot from Intel, that all the ships that you put the Gear 13 pilots in, they do get a bunch of increased stats. It does not look like they affect the speed of the ships at this point. If that is incorrect, you guys, have seen something different, please do let me know. But Chewbacca gets a wicked amount of damage and strength. He gets a lot of strength from these pieces that you apply at Gear 12. Lots of damage. And the strength on Chewbacca's kit does convert to physical damage, health, and armor. So he does get a little bit more tanky and does hit much, much harder. And then, of course, he is the assisting phenom behind Han Solo and one more guarded ally. So he does do a lot of extra damage spread over the course of a battle. More damage he's doing, the better he is. So very, very good character to consider for your CLS team. You can sub in Han here as well. Either one is good. But yeah, just more of this. And that's for the most part, all the Gear 13 characters, if you use them every day, you like what they do every day, you're going to like them just the exact same as Gear 13. Just for the vast majority of the characters, just with the exception of a few that get ridiculous boosts, it's just going to be better versions of your Gear 12 character. So this is no different. So lots, you do see a pretty significant damage increase from him. And then, of course, the speed. So yeah, so he will get a lot more speed as well.
Yeah, Chewie is a beast, and he really makes his team churn, and I think some of these characters can be components that can be added to a team that can really just kind of start that team. So if you don't necessarily have the ability to, Gear 13 the rest of the squad, giving these bonuses to Chewbacca will indeed just boost the rest of the team as a whole as you work on, getting the rest of the characters to Gear 13 over time.
Well, he does take that injector cell too, which isn't this. There's the Darth Revan Grievous piece. All the good characters take, and he does take one of the less, the ones that's not as required. I think HK takes. Let me look. HK, Thrawn, R2D2, Anakin, B1. The rest of these characters are nowhere near the top of anyone's list to put Gear 13 on. So there's not as many choices. If you do happen to acquire some of these pieces from your Geo drops and stuff, he's a good option for your bullet pieces, the injector cells, they're called. So,
okay, but that's our number 5 character to get to Gear 12. At number 4, we have Darth Malik. So
Darth Malik.
Why,
At 4, huh?
Why is he number 4, Maurice?
Yeah.
Basically, for all the reasons Ranger just told you guys just a few minutes ago, just a huge boost in health, protection, and most importantly, damage. A lot of you guys are in here debating crit damage triangles, crit damage sets, and yes, I mean, the damage he does get, you start stacking those 3 stacks, what's called Dark Infusion, I think is what the green buff's called. You start calculating all that damage, you start putting crit damage on him. He's hitting hard. Very, very, very hard. Not to mention pretty much he one-shots any character without protection. That goes without Gear 13. So just more of the great, more of the same. For those of you guys that do build a tenacity heavy Darth Malik, he does get a bit of an increase on that piece as well to kind of boost his tenacity up even further. So very, very good. He is making a big, big difference in the arena. Really putting closing the door on a lot of our older counters that we're relying on, and we're having to come up with new ones because of Darth Malik in Gear 13. So very, very difficult to get through.
Yeah, he's definitely a character that benefits a lot, because of the added increase to the HP too, because, obviously he plays with his HP back and forth with that, Drain Life ability that he has, and, giving him, that boost in speed as well is just a tremendous benefit. So, I mean, he's just the best tank in the game right now, so, it's definitely worth giving him consideration as one of your first Gear 13 characters. But moving along to our number 3 character to Gear 13, who do we have here, Maurice?
Number 3 is R2D2. A lot of people are going to laugh at this, but if you just open up Number Crunch, you'll see that he gets 10% max protection, 10% offense, 10% max health, and 10% potency for we'll throw potency out because that doesn't matter in this situation. But all of those stats are going to be calculated off newly included mods in all the Gear 12 pieces. His stats go through the roof, and that's more stats he then eventually spreads out to the entire team. If you guys are really balling on a budget, still run CLS, which a lot of people do. You can still beat Darth Revan with CLS if you commit the mods to it. R2D2 really shines at Gear 13, just providing wicked amount of just passive stat boosting to your team. So this is one I haven't seen too many people do. I'm personally working on myself because I do like light side rebel characters. So this is one that I'm interested in. You can start, if you do invest the right mods on him at Gear 13, you can start running 4-man, Ray BB-8 R2X to start taking out some of these bounty hunter teams, get you even more banners against a very common defensive team. So it's a good one to think, maybe long term for the vast majority of us. It's not anybody's arena team, that on my shard, but it will be one, especially when the light side territory battles does come around. He is Galactic Republic, so that's something to consider and keep in mind. So this is one more for the future, but I like the prospect of this one a lot in my roster. So
nice one.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a gem, and he's somebody that you have to have at this point. And then again, he's just somebody that with one increase to Gear 13 for this character, you are helping a lot more than just one character. You're helping out the whole team. So it's one of those things where it's worth the investment because of the fact that right now I think when you're picking out your Gear 13s, as nice as it is to get your whole arena squad to Gear 13, once you're done with that, you need to start thinking about, okay, like what are my best possible next investments, and that would be picking out individual characters that are going to kind of give a benefit to the rest of the entire squad and really make them all better instead of just making that one character better. And R2D2 is definitely one of those. So
it's not fun and flashy, but it's going to be effective. He gets almost about 25% more tactics on that piece, and then tactics is where this character's offense comes from. So that's going to be a lot of offense spread to the rest of your team. So that's something to really do look at the tactics, strength, and agility, and what each stat does to each individual character. Because a lot of these pieces don't look that flashy, but they add a lot of power to your character. So just do check that out.
That's our number 3 character to get to Gear 13. Moving along to our number 2 character, and that is none other than Darth Revan.
Yes, Darth Revan coming in at number 2. You see a lot of people do Bastila. That's fun, the Bastila foot race. But if your Revan goes faster than the opposing team, you no longer need Sith Trooper, and you have a much, much better team with Sith Marauder on your team. You do Sith Trooper, but your Darth Revan has to be fast. And this is a way you can make a case where almost all of him and Bastila could kind of be slotted in here. You're basically just putting the piece on for the speed. But Gear 13, Darth Revan does hit incredibly hard. And of course, he does get. I think it's 10 speed when you put that piece on him. If you have a speed set on him, I think he gets 2 extra from that piece. So I think he gets a 10 speed boost.
Yeah,
very
and Basti.
Yeah. So both of them, and again, you could slot in Bastila here too. This just simply because it's our current arena meta, current grand arena meta, the best team, and we just saw the meta report. That speed is very, very important. So you can do Darth Revan or Bastila here, and it's pretty much just for the speed. And they do get a lot of health, and you do remember that Bastila and Revan both get the 70% increase to their max health pools from Bastila's unique. So that health is going to just magnified even further. Very, very good. You're gonna want at least one of these 2 characters on your arena team to survive. It's getting tough out there. Teams are getting very, very fast. I'm starting to see 345 plus Darth Ravens in my shard. So it's getting pretty fast and kind of leaving these counters behind, just simply because the counters aren't fast enough. The JKR Yoda Thrawn counter, unless you want to Gear 13 Yoda, you can go ahead and kiss that one goodbye. So it's you gotta think wisely with these pieces. Yes.
Yep. No, Darth Revan is definitely a good character to get to Gear 13. I mean, obviously, he's the leader of almost everybody's arena team right now, so he's somebody that you're going to want to get there pretty fast. I'd say, again, like we discussed a little bit earlier, he's probably not the first person I want to get to Gear 13, but definitely somebody that's on the list, probably right behind number 1, and that's why he's here. So, moving along to our number 1 character to get to Gear 13. Who is it, Maurice?
General Grievous. We talked about him earlier in the show. I think he's hands down, just simply for no other reason that we got a Geonosis territory battle that thrives on the Separatist as the newest content, and he's one of the very few characters they all get nice facelifts, but he gets a significant facelift, just a huge bump to his health, and his entire damage package, his entire kit is revolved around his health pool. It's very easy at Gear 13 to get him to 100,000 K plus. We talked, I think it was Dr. Gonzo pointed out HK was the lead for Grievous. There are Dooku and Grievous teams floating around that can beat all these counter teams now that are beating Darth Revan at Gear 13 include General Grievous. So a lot of them do. Whatever variation you use, it's whatever works best for your roster, but Grievous has to be at Gear 13 on those teams to take out the Gear 13. I had no problem. I Gear 13 my Grievous in the middle of the last territory battles. I had no problem with that P3 Separatist droid mission with him at Gear 13. So that was encouraging to see my investment immediately, just come back and I get a little bit of return right away on that. So that was nice to see. It's just a lot of fun to use. Grievous has been so bad for so long, and now it's so cool. You use Zeta that the monstrosity move, and just you have droids in your team. That's why L3 is so cool with him. L3 dies, Vandor rides him, Grievous goes. Just AoEs the whole team to death. His moves can't be evaded anymore. So it can't be evaded. I don't think they can be countered. Target lock characters can't counter. All sorts of new mechanics with this kit that they added just recently. Just a very, very fun character. Health mods for the win. All health, all the time. But
so did you just G13 your Grievous, or did you also G13 any of your other crew to help him out?
No. Just Grievous at this point. I was very, very tempted to do B1, and I think I did. I did somebody dumb instead, but I did somebody dumb.
Please explain what the dumb one was that you just.
L3.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Now, I would think L3 would be really good.
He is good.
No!
He's very good.
No!
He's very good. I can counter.
Maurice totally did that. He totally did that.
Yeah, so I do have a Gear 13 L3
Oh,
rocking that
my
70% armor. It's pretty awesome. Like, that's pretty cool. But
Not good for territory battle, at least for the dark side, but excellent for like arena and stuff, I would imagine.
yeah, L3. Yeah, Nathaniel Morgan says, "Have I tried Clash's Dooku team? That's why I geared 13 L3. It just simply wasn't working without it."
Yeah, I think. Well, how much of a? Because I know that her as a tank, it's her health and protection is okay. Does it significantly go up when you get her?
You know, I got defense builds on her. I'll have to try to stack protection, see how high I can get. I can probably get to 120k protection, but I got a 99,000 protection now and almost 70% armor. She's one of those characters, much like Grievous gets a ton of health.
Yeah, she's annoying.
Yeah.
Because she
all of her
gets rid
pieces
all
get
debuffs.
defense. Yeah. So, but she's not number one. She doesn't even make this list. Nobody do her. Please, nobody do her.
That's actually an interesting choice because if anything, you can in like GAC you can put her on the Kira Stall team, and that's really a nightmare to deal with. I mean,
B1 is interesting. You asked about the sporting cast. B1 is interesting because gets potency, gets speed, and does get a significant damage boost. But that's pretty in game for most people, I think. That's not feasible, I think, for most, because B1 does work at 4-star gear 4. So it's we'll see.
At Gear 13, Ray Rock asked, did she boost Lando's Falcon speed at Gear 13?
She did not.
No ships get speed boosts. I think we talked about that earlier. No ship gets the creamy speeding biz for Gear 13, just other stats.
I think that's the only pilot I currently have, so I've got a sample size of 1. But I think we had Dagger on in our chat last Tuesday. He said he Gear 13 both Han and Chewie, and his Millennium Falcon got a nice boost in stats, but did not get any speed. So that's with both the pilots. So, if you guys are tempted to do crew members, do understand that you're not getting any speed out of it. So that could be the difference, and maybe making a decision for you. So,
right.
So is it boosting damage though, and other things
like that? Yeah, it's boosting all the stats except the speed. So,
okay, still something to think about though. Now, as far as General Grievous is concerned, anybody who is, basically a health-based damage character, getting such a significant increase in health is going to be a huge bonus. So he's definitely worthy of the top spot, and the fact that we're hearing rumblings of the fact that he can now take out Darth Revan teams in the arena at Gear 13, and how that boost that he gives to the rest of that team, it's definitely something to think about there too. So again, it's still kind of in the early stages of Gear 13, so some of this stuff, we're going to look back on and say, okay, maybe this character was a bigger winner, in the end. But right now, as it looks at the moment, it looks like these are the initial winners here. Now, we do have an honorable mention, as usual, and our honorable mention this week is General Kenobi. So
that's right.
General Kenobi goes to Gear 13. Why, Maurice?
Well, I mean, if you want to Gear 13, your Padme team, you got to start somewhere. So you might as well start with the one that's supposed to go first. So that's General Kenobi. He's up there. He's got the Negotiator coming. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, mine probably won't be Gear 13 for quite some time, but we'll have to see how the stats affect the Negotiator. He's just a very, very good tank. I mean, we've been using him in Padme now for a few months. I mean, people I think are starting to forget that he is arguably the best all-around tank in the game. More protection, more defense. You can see the pieces Ramon has on him here. These are a lot of defensive-based pieces. And his right side pieces provide. I'm talking about his gear pieces. I'm not making.
I know, but I just looked at his.
I know.
No.
Draw attention away from that.
No.
General Kenobi, the one-hit wonder. One-shot characters, but he gets a lot of defense, and we talked about L3 a second ago. He's a character that some of those defensive sets you guys have laying around that you're not really using much, they will start really starting to show and shine at Gear 13. So defense percent, secondary stat in particular, will have a little more viability, a little more use at Gear 13. He's an excellent example because all those pieces on the left side there, that the sunglasses are armor-based piece, the tooth piece is an armor-based piece, and the little blue orb piece there. I should really learn the names of these pieces, but that's a resistance piece. So all sorts of defensive benefits to doing him. So
very nice.
Okay, it says Donald Jordan's speed on Han's Millennium Falcon increases by 1 to 189 with both Han and Chewie at Gear 13. Okay, so
wow. So
there you guys go. 3 months of farming for you. 1 speed on that Han's Millennium Falcon.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, listen, in ships, 1 speed could be the difference maker.
Yeah.
But that's our top 5 for the week. Top 5 characters to Gear 13. If you're, thinking about Gear 13 in your characters, you should definitely do General Grievous first.
I am shocked that Gamorrean Guard's not on there.
Well,
I mean, honestly,
word?
he's just the cat's meow. He's just great. I'm just excited to G13 him at some point.
for all your Gamorrean Guard information at Gear 13, please tune in to the Abby show. I won't have that character. I gotta get that character to Gear 8 before I start thinking about Gear 13. So
I'd like to get him past level 50 myself.
These guys are talking about my mods again. They're talking about my General Grievous 4-dot mod. I mean, my General Kenobi 4-dot mod.
I think they're more concerned with the crit damage sets.
Yeah.
Listen, the 4-dot mod has 16 speed on it.
Too bad it's a tank character.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not kidding. All right. You know
Just
what?
gonna add 30% crit damage to that whopping 1800 basic attack he's got.
We're gonna go back to the gameplay here. Listen, you guys. Look at that mod. Okay, look at that mod now. All right, and then I'm gonna go now. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm gonna go into my inventory. Okay, I'm gonna go to my General Kenobi. All right, and we're gonna take a look at this 4-dot mod here.
You could have changed it.
It's the same exact mod. It's a purple crit chance triangle. Okay. So look at this. Bang! 16 speed.
On a tank character.
16 speed. All right, bang! Exactly 16 speed. I knew it. Okay. So you guys now you believe. Now you guys believe me.
It's 10.5 crit chance and has 400% 50 protection. I stand corrected.
Now you guys believe me.
Huh,
Okay,
it's weird.
so-
What do I have on mine? Let me look. I'm just curious. You know, what did I put on my Kenobi?
All right, man. 16 speed, 4 dots acceptable. Well, let's pass.
No.
16 speed.
Yeah, for some reason I went this thing called protection on a 5-dot, and then with health and more protection
He
on the
runs him under
secondaries.
88 speed, man. He wants those dots.
Oh, well, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that Kenobi definitely needs to be remodded. That's for sure. So we're gonna have a territory war. Okay.
yes, here we go.
All right. So let's get into some questions. For those of you that have any questions you'd like to ask, or have asked a question already, or you have a topic that you'd like to talk about, please do type that into the chat now, and we'll try to scoop it up. So, do we have anything from the shows earlier?
Yeah, one second. I'm making sure I haven't missed any here recently. Okay, yeah, we got a few here. First one does come from Stonewall. Saw Mandalore's video of Geos beating JKR. How good are the Geos?
I think his was 7-star Alpha Brood.
Yeah, I'm assuming he means the Brood Alpha lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have I think I just got him to 5-star, so mine is I've just got him to Gear 10 too, so mine is in not a usable state, but makes sense because you can beat Giant Revan with a new gun ray leading the Geos. You do have to have B1 to make it worth a damn, but it's I can totally see it. Just simply because of that second Zeta, that unique, or is it whichever Zeta provides the bonus damage for buffed allies or buffed enemies.
Right.
Because that is a team that is solely reliant on the buffs. And then, of course, you do have Geonosian Spy swooping in for a big hit if the Brood Alpha does not dispel all the buffs. I can see it. It's. I think that team will be very serviceable. Probably going to be more of an offense-oriented team. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be good for offense, but it's not going to be a team that you want to. Like for GAC, it's something you put in the back line maybe as a team as a placeholder, right?
It'll be much better than the Ewoks.
Yeah, if you have to, but not a front line defensive team, and probably better on offense. To take out some stuff that maybe you don't want to deal with on offense. So.
And then please remember to switch your team back.
Yeah, I was doing that last week. I lifted my Dooku lead and woke up in the 60s. Your team sucks. Yeah, you guys weren't supposed to see it. So I forgot about it. Young Lando gets 520 agility, so according to God, we should take him. Tell me all about it. Works for you. I think team is going to agree that the majority of them all had here 11 plus spy for a while now.
Is it me or is Maurice like sound?
Yeah,
like
yes.
Do I sound like? I feel like I do. You hear crickets? Almost like crickets.
What is that?
Okay, I thought.
Maybe that's his mic.
Maurice, it sounds like you're talking to us from down the hallway.
Down the hallway and with crickets.
The locusts have come.
Why don't you unplug and then plug back in again? See what happens.
I thought it was just me for a minute there.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on.
You hear me now?
We can hear you, but not very loud at all.
It's like your mic just kind of went out because it's like checking feedback. It's getting some feedback, Lucas. It sounds like locust is coming from your mic.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Run the fork through your hair a few times and see if that helps.
No, still the same.
Barely, yeah.
No, it's still like very, very distant in the background.
There he goes.
Nope. Move the mic closer to your mouth for a second. I don't know.
It's as though his mic is just not picking him up.
I posted the questions in the chat.
We can see. Yeah.
Is that better?
There we go.
There you go.
I don't know how that happens. Let me turn this down now. This thing is super loud in my ear. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything about the Geos? Anybody practice with them?
No, I'm still gearing them up. Their gear is crazy. Except for Boggle, he's like the easiest gear in the game, for God's sake. So I'm getting them there. I haven't had a chance to really play with them. I'm still farming the Brood Alpha, which I'll have them done in Christmas of 2022 at this rate, even though I'm spending 300 crystals a day on the bastard. So no, I haven't really had a chance to play them. You did, right?
Yeah, I have. I've played in Arena a little bit, both Revan and Darth Revan. They're not the best mods in the world on that. It's kind of like I'm trying to get them all like a crit damage, crit chance mods, basically, with some speeds secondary. And man, Geo Spy hits hard. I'll tell you that right now. I think I've got him like 240 something speed or something. I don't know if that's good or not. I just don't know. But they do pretty well. They're hella fun to watch when they gang up on. Every time you do something, they all go in. But I haven't won yet. But I've actually come fairly close against Darth Revan once, and it wasn't like a G13 team at all.
Well, I would say before you guys start setting aside mods for your Geonosians, she did basically say Poggle and Spy are going to get some love. So I would wait to see or before you guys start committing 6Es to the Geos. Because it could change. They could become, you're probably going to want health circles on a couple of them just for the regeneration and the health steal. The health steal that Brood Alpha is very intriguing. To me, the very squishy character. That's the problem with them. That's why we're all getting wasted in that P1 Poggle mission, is because we have no sort of sustain whatsoever, right? They just get hit and then they die.
Poggle needs to actually boost up Geonosians instead of droids. I mean, it's great, he can maybe do that too, but he really needs to be able, if he's going to be a leader and he's going to be a force leader, he has got to boost the Geos, because otherwise you're screwed.
He's got to do something besides a percentage chance ability block against SD. So he's got to do something else.
Yeah, but all of mine are pretty high up there, and I've got some decent mods on them, not great mods. But I've kind of been squishy, wishy-washy back and forth whether I want to put some health mods on them, or whether I just want to go maybe crit damage, crit chance.
Do check out, if you guys, I'll have to check it. I haven't seen the video myself, but do check that out. That seems like a cool concept, and especially since we're all forced to farm them, it would be nice to get some use out of them.
Yep.
Next one comes from Nathaniel Morgan. So basically now fully crafted Gear 12 Plus sucks. I guess he's referring to like the Sith raid drops. Like, are you guys, like, if you get a full Gear 12 Plus piece, are you excited or are you upset because you can't use it to take somebody?
It's like I get the same ones. I don't get like anything decent. And I think I've only ever gotten one fully crafted G12 piece ever in the raids at all on any of my accounts. So it's really a bummer, and I never seem to get the drops that I need. Like on the right side there. So it's really frustrating.
I mean, I'll take a fully crafted Gear 12 Plus piece if it wants to give it to me. Especially if it's excited, especially if it's the one for Asajj. I desperately need those for Asajj and Talzin. So next on the docket, we have one from Ronan. Die or die. Do you guys go protection triangles or crit damage like Warrior suggests?
Okay, you cut out a little bit there for me.
He said, do you go protection triangles or what was the other
crit
one?
Damage. Or crit damage for Malak.
Oh, for Malak.
I went protection still.
I need to look. I'm not even sure what I have on him.
I had a crit damage set that's very high in protection. Those one that have like offense, crit chance, speed, protection, and you keep rolling it goes like protection 4 times. So those I have not tried. I do think very effective at Gear 13. Lots of damage.
You're coming through really choppy right now.
Okay, I thought that was me. I have protection, health mod protection. Okay, it's got 18 speed on it. I like that.
Maurice, just check if there's an update on your Discord. Maybe there's one on mine too.
Is it better?
That's better.
Yeah, it's storming here a little bit. I don't know. It might be just my internet.
That could have something to do with it. But yeah, Nathaniel Morgan was asking me about the ship team. So yeah, now that I have the Millennium Falcon, I mean, the sea has opened and it parted for me as far as ships are concerned. I mean, I can I could win now. The real problem was falling behind there with that. I mean, not that I was really, but kind of having that ship now and having the Ebon Hawk 7-star, recently too. It's like I've kind of been invigorated to play the ships a little bit more because I kind of like those 2 ships. So it's been fun. But that what a difference the Millennium Falcon makes for your fleet arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's like night and day. What's the next question?
All right, do I sound okay now?
Yep.
All right, it says, DSP asks, is my 6.5 million experience over the last 2 years of going to be lost or banked once we get the level crap?
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be great.
Lost. Bye-bye. You don't get that.
Bye-bye.
So yes, if you want to power farm up to level 90, you'll have to just like waste all your energy on things
It's
that
like
you probably
banker,
don't need.
Yeah, it's the banker from South Park. All right, we're just going to take that experience you just earned over the last 2, and it's gone.
That's actually the last question I have. You just answered the Cassian thing there. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been fun, guys. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It's been a good show. I appreciate everybody coming out. We will be back next Sunday with more madness and hopefully some more news. Maybe they'll have an update over the next few days that gives us some more information on what's coming next. I mean, we've gotten so much stuff in the last couple weeks that I imagine it's going to be kind of just pretty much maintenance and probably GOTB stuff again. I'm sure Grand Arena Championships is right around the corner. When's the next one?
I think the 9th, I think. But,
Yeah, the 9th.
Okay.
They did come out with a post on the 3rd saying they're continuing to look at the matchmaking, the scoring, and all that stuff. So I know a lot of people were upset with how it was rolled out last time. There might be some tweaks to it this time. It might be a little less lopsided in some cases. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So keep giving feedback, guys, if you want things to change. So.
And definitely make sure to check out the live show on the Operation Metaverse channel on Tuesday night with good old Maurice and TMoney. The link is in the description to this live stream, so you can get a link there and subscribe, and you'll get notified when they go live. And then also we have the Reality Skewed Gamers live show on Wednesday night. Definitely make sure to check out Ranger, Infinity, and the gang. And I don't want to forget to mention Grande Patron as well. Sure
Yeah, he still plays.
He still plays. So they'll all be there on Wednesday night, and the link is in the description of this video for that stream and that channel as well. So, I look forward to, talking with you guys next week. Hopefully I'll cover some more ground on this Separatist front, so when the next GOTV comes around, I'll be ready for it, and I'll let you guys know how we fare there. But I appreciate everybody sticking it out with us this week. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you guys on the next one, and may the force be with you. Good night.